Boyfriend choked me and left. Hey, I won't make this too long, but it's 1 AM and I'm freaking out. Me and my boyfriend of a year were having sex like 2 hours ago. And I kind of grabbed his hair to maneuver him onto his back. We do things like that all the time. And then he just lost his shit. It was like a switch went off in his head. I've never even seen him angry, then I'm being fucking choked and pinned all of a sudden. It's clearly not a sexual thing. He's shouting something but I don't really take notice cause he's got his fucking hands around my throat and I'm shouting over him. It looked like he wasn't even in his body, he looked fucking mad and scared at the same time. Thankfully it didn't last for long, but it was hard. He probably could have snapped my neck. I yelled a few times. He let me go and then started apologizing near hysterically, asking if I was okay while I fucking bombarded him. Then he told me he was gonna go. At 11 PM. It was the most confusing shit I've ever seen. We're both slightly tipsy, but nothing to even change your behavior. He is never usually violent or even mean or any of that. I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm spam calling his phone and he's ignoring it. I kind of want to call my ma to come get me, but she's probably asleep and I'm worried about him. I want to ask what's going on. We're 18 and 19 BTW. Edit. Hi. Just woke up for water. Sorry I can't respond to everyone individually, there's a lot. I'm still at his house. No clue where he's gone. To address a couple things. My neck's fine. Like I said, it didn't last long. I don't think I need to go to the hospital. Edit again. I'm gonna get it checked by a doctor anyway just in case. I feel okay. I also don't think he's gonna murder me. He's never done anything remotely like this. Never even snapped at me. I think if he wanted to murder me there'd be a bit more to go off Lamau. He's never told me anything about his childhood, but I've always gathered it wasn't great. The PTSD shit would make a lot of sense, would solve some other things too. I'd for sure, but I think it might have been a mixture of alcohol and that. I don't think it was malicious or he wanted to hurt me. So, if it turns out to be that, which I'm sure it is, I'm going to ask that he never drinks around me again and gets into therapy. I'm not gonna go to the police. If that's just the wrong reason entirely, I'll leave. But I think it's too early to do either of those. I'm still at his house. I'm kinda worried, to be honest. He's been gone the whole night and the friends of his I have on Snapchat haven't seen him. Not really sure what to do. Maybe I should report him as missing or SMTH. You could have died. Whether he was thinking properly or not, this is really dangerous and scary behavior. If this is some kind of PTSD response, he needs therapy from a licensed professional. Keep yourself safe. That should be your #1 priority, not his feelings regarding hurting you. Biggest red flag I've ever seen in my whole entire life. This is not good. Think whatever you wanna think, but this person could have easily killed you. This sounds like PTSD to me, but PTSD or not, this was an extremely violent and unsafe reaction. You need to leave, op, because he has demons to fight that will try to drown you too. Get yourself to the hospital to be checked out. Even if you think you are okay, choking can cause internal injuries with serious complications. Doctor ASAP, then police. After trusting my gut, turns out partner of 11 years is cheating. First off, I frequently read Reddit, but never posted. This is obviously a throwaway, so please, politely, correct me of any miscues. After trusting my gut, I finally have substantial knowledge, but not absolute proof of my wife carrying out an extramarital affair. BG, wife and I have been together 11 years, married 3. We always had a great relationship. Sex was great, exploratory and frequent. I always described us as a perfect partnership. As no surprise, when we had our first child, our personal relationship took a dive as we are both working professionals and focused on our child. Eventually, it regained traction and we were just as good as ever. Fast forward a couple years later and she became pregnant with our second child. We worked through some rough patches again, but I felt we made it past them. As mentioned, we are both very career focused, and both of us concentrate very hard on balancing work and home life. I suppose I'm the breadwinner. Our insurance, housing bills, and overall comfort comes from my income. It's not that she is incapable. She just happens to be very well educated, MS, in a field that is incredibly low paying. I, on the other hand, chose a career path that is very demanding, but well compensated in both income and benefits. I have also been very supportive of whatever career choices she decided on. More school? Go for it. Take a lower paying, but more rewarding job. You do you, I got us. I even took a position for a few years ago that was very challenging, but had way more flexible hours so I could help out as much as I could. Doc appointments, child care, etc. We also never went along with the traditional gender roles. I changed diapers, drop off / pick up kids from daycare, and even tell my boss I can't show certain days to stay at home to watch the kiddos because she had to go to work. I do laundry and keep up with the house as much as I can, in addition to the typical landscaping and exterior work around the house. Although I have brought up my concerns that I would like more help around the house, I never complained. Now, the past 12 months have been pretty rough. We have grown very distant and expressed our dissatisfaction with where we're at as a couple. And ever increasingly, she has consistently started to shut me out, as far as much as resisting any sort of intimacy. Well, recently I've noticed it more and more. It's become a trend for her to get off work later than normal, which is uncommon in her job. Eventually, I started noticing FB messages coming in late at night, and early in the morning. This caught my attention, as the notification sound has been turned on recently, which was never the case before. And finally, I noticed several notifications coming in early in the morning, almost like a good morning, and got to the point where she would ensure that her phone was in close proximity when these rang in, just in case I would possibly get a glimpse. Through some clever, although maybe borderline means, I was able to track her location the past week. Typically, her whereabouts were pretty standard. However, today I saw her location not just irregular, but about 1 to 2 miles away from her work site, dead center in a residential area, to be specific. I left work when I saw this to check it out. After about 30 minutes of searching, I could not physically locate her vehicle. For record, I was not planning on confrontation, just of snapping a pic of the vehicle / LP at the site to provide to an attorney, and possibly use as proof to her. At this point, I am 99% certain she was nowhere near her workplace, as she has never been more than 500 to 1,000 meters away during work hours, and this was clearly closer to 2 to 3 kilometers. I asked about her day, and she said she was at work all day, no detours. Do I confront? Do I continue to monitor until I get proof? Do I contact an attorney now? Any help would be appreciated. I really want to confront because I feel she will relent when I press, but I want to make sure this can be used to my benefit, should it get to divorce court. I've been in this situation before. Minus the kids. Trust your gut. My story came to a head when she went out with her sister one night, then texted me at 4:15 a.m. that she was too drunk to drive home and would be staying at her parents'. Her sister lived with her parents. I happened to wake up to the text and it didn't sit right with me as we live 10 minutes away on back roads from her parents. So after wrestling with what to do, I decided at 4:45 to drive to her parents. She wasn't there. I drove home, then immediately texted her that we needed to have a serious talk when you get home. She replied instantly, "I don't appreciate you threatening me." Then she called while driving and said she was on her way home, a drive which took an hour. There were a lot of red flags, some of which you pointed out in your story. While it worried me, I always tried harder to make it work. Driving to her parents' house that morning broke me. I realized that I didn't want to live like this. I didn't want to be this person. So when she got home, I calmly told her that I wanted a divorce. It was the best decision for both of us. Hire a private investigator. If you confront, she will deny it or think of an excuse, then will accuse you of spying on her. She then will be much more careful next time. Contact an attorney now. But I want to make sure this can be used to my benefit. You would be a complete fool to take advice from Reddit at this point instead of talking to a lawyer. You aren't as clever as you think you are in this situation because you are too deeply involved. Spend your money and ask a lawyer if you should gather evidence or how, or if you should, confront your lawyer. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by trying to tackle this without legal advice. Hire a PI ASAP. The PI will get whatever evidence you need easily. Don't confront her, she will get better at hiding. If the PI get enough evidence, don't confront her. Get your ducks in a row and only serve her when you are certain of your court victory, and only let her know you know through papers served at her job. Yes, get to a lawyer now, one well versed in family law. Do not confront her. Hire a detective to see what the hell is going on. Do not be in denial and hope you're wrong. This is a case of prepare for the worst but hope for the best. How is her behavior to you? Something made you check her whereabouts. Always trust your bullshit meter when it's going off. Your lawyer should tell you how to handle your finances and get a temporary custody order for your children ready to go. Don't forget the credit and debit cards. Don't do the she's a good mom bullshit. She's cheating on them too. There are apps and ways to track her phone if the policy is in your name. If she is cheating when you have things ready, blindside her and keep pushing forward. Do not leave the house. If she cheats, she leaves. Tell that's the consequence for cheating. Keep pushing forward but never ever attack her. Stay calm and matter of fact. Tell her from now on all communication is through your lawyer. Be prepared to be phone bombed by her friends and family. Tell everyone why you kicked her out. Don't protect her or let her control the narrative expecting her to tell the truth. If she is cheating, she is already a proven liar. I, 21 meters, haven't told my family about my girlfriend's 22F suicide. My girlfriend committed suicide at the end of last February. At the time she was pregnant for 12 weeks and my family didn't even know that I had a girlfriend at the time. I was going to tell them about the pregnancy, but then my girlfriend's mental went down and that ended up in suicide. Since I hadn't even told my family about her, I just told them that I had lost a friend because that just felt right at the moment. I wanted some time to heal and get myself together. I love my parents to death, but when it comes to depression, my mother doesn't get it why I do things the way I do. I was kinda scared that my mother would ask me about things that I just wasn't ready to answer at the time, so I just waited for the right time, and 11 months have passed. I live with my sister and she saw firsthand how I fell deep into depression and at the same time alcoholism. I couldn't really tell her either about it since she is bad at keeping secrets and she is the reason why my parents know about me losing a friend. I don't really blame her since in the end that was the right thing to do, and my parents had to know at some point, but because of that I just couldn't correct her and tell that it was my girlfriend. I'm finally getting better from what happened and I feel like I could tell them, but I'm not really sure if I should. I just feel like things are going well between my family and I don't really want to break that peace at this point, so what should I do? Sometimes the support you want you can't get from family. You should talk to a therapist first so they can build you back up. You shouldn't have to go through this alone anymore. 3. I have been to therapy since May. We've come pretty far from what my mental health was then. Also my friends support me with everything and I love them to death because of that. 3. You have no obligation to tell them, so I don't think you should tell them. If you think it will be good for your mental health for them to know, go for it. If you think it may cause more harm than good, don't. I think this is one time where you should do what's best for you and not worry about what others may or may not think.